Someone said, doubts have killed far more dreams than fear. Okay? And so doubts is one of the things that we really need to hit home on, because when you come to an event like this, you're hyped up, we're all together, we're like, yeah, we're going to do this, all this kind of stuff, and you go home and you start having doubts. Okay? Now, what you need to know is that the doubts specifically are not an issue. There is a story of the Prophet ﷺ being with his companions, facing total annihilation. Which battle was that? Do you know? Uhud, Badr, I guess they were Khandak. Yeah, Khandak is when they did the trench. They were like attacked. This, that, like total annihilation, right? And at this point, they're digging the trench. So you imagine, have you ever thought about that? Digging a trench. Have you ever thought about that? Like, what level? Like, if you see, like, you know, you go to a graveyard and you see people digging a grave. It takes a long time to get a little bit of earth out. But imagine digging a trench so big and so wide that horses and things can't get over. So they're digging it, and they're probably thinking in their heads, we could die, this could happen, all this stuff. And they're digging, and then suddenly they get to this rock that no one can break. So they get to the rock where no one can break, and then they're trying to break it and no one can break it. Goes back to some nice strength, right? Who do they call to break it? Prophet ﷺ. And at that time, by the way, not only was it like total annihilation, it was hunger. So I don't know which of the Sahaba, one of the Sahaba said that he had a rock on his stomach because he was so like hungry and he had to put something there just to let it go. And then he said when the Prophet ﷺ lifted his thing, whatever he had to break the rock, there was 2 rocks there. Right? And then when he hit it, they said there was like a spark or something that happened. What did Prophet ﷺ say? He said Allahu Akbar. He said it 3 times, isn't it? But what? No, he said something with it. Persia will be yours. Now I want you to think about this for a minute. Yeah? It's like you're about to face total annihilation. You are hungry, like starving hungry. You're digging a trench. You get a rock which you cannot break. And at that moment, which is one of the lowest moments you could probably think about, the Prophet ﷺ goes, Persia is going to be yours. Now, if you don't have Iman, what would you have said to that? You would have said something rude to the Prophet ﷺ, you know that. That's what the reality is. You're like, do you not see where we are, the situation we're in? How can you say Persia is going to be ours? How can you say this? Because obviously the Sahaba, they were the best. They didn't entertain any doubts. Even though they were in the worst situation, they didn't entertain doubts. Because of? Iman, right? So what you need to realize is that the key to attacking your doubts is actually your Iman. And this is a very powerful thing. This is why I love Sunnah strength. This is why we do the stuff in believers' confidence, all this stuff. Because if you believe in Allah and Islam, and then I give you a statement of the Prophet ﷺ or Allah, that should immediately take you to this point where you believe and you know, and that gives you confidence. Right? So for example, when we say, Allah says that He will never give a soul more than it can handle. That's such an empowering statement. If you flip that, Allah is saying, anything that's going to come your way, you can handle it. But what do you do when something difficult comes your way? You have doubts. So you need to ask yourself, do you believe your doubts or do you believe Allah? Allah is saying, I'm never going to give you anything you can't handle. Meaning, if you flip it, you can handle everything that's going to come your way. So when that difficult time comes your way, do you believe your doubts or do you believe Allah? Right? Same. You imagine this place that's just filled with mountains. It's black and it's just filled with mountains. They're so dark because there's so much heat there. Imagine I said to you guys, bro, can you get 100 people to come to this room? You're not allowed to pay them. Can you get 100 people to come to this room tomorrow? No. What if I said to you, get 100 people to come to this room in a month's time? Difficult. No paying nothing. Yeah, maybe. What if I said to you, you have to get someone here in 3 years' time, on the day? On this day, in 3 years' time, you need to get 100 people to come to this room. No money is allowed to exchange. You might say it's impossible. How am I going to get someone in 3 years' time to come to this room? So imagine a place which is so hot that the mountains are black. Allah told Ibrahim alayhi salam, go and make a call to tell people to come here for Hajj. Now, if I was Ibrahim, at that point, I would have gone, bruv. Like, come on, man. Like this place, no one wants to come here. You're telling me to make a call. Like, what? Who? There's not even no one to hear me. Forget about them coming. Like, I'm about to make a call. There is nobody to hear me. And yet, billions of people will visit that same place that he called to. Is it because of Ibrahim? It's not. It's because he had Allah with him. And if you guys are trying to do noble things, even with your business, you're trying to help kids, if you're trying to do noble things, Allah will help you as well. So the weight of achieving this stuff is not on you. The weight of the Hajj was not on Ibrahim. The weight of what was on him? Just to make the call, the effort, just to tie the camel, do the stuff. The results are not you. You don't need to worry about the results. You don't need to feel overwhelmed. And you know they say there's that thing, right? Like you've got this thing, which is like a caterpillar. Can a caterpillar fly? It can't. What it needs to do is it needs to eat leaves and it needs to eat things. You know the hungry caterpillar story, right? And then at the end of it, it struggles and it strives and it has a cocoon. But after that, it becomes a butterfly and it flies. So don't get hung up about where you are today. We were at the start of Elevate. This is January, we were at the start. You have to go through a process in the next few months to become that butterfly who's going to fly and be able to achieve things. So don't be in this rush where you feel like, oh my God, like today I have to do it, this, that. Yes, be in a rush to take action. But remember that the results are on Allah. Allah is the one that's going to make the things happen for you as well. And then, one thing to remember is, like we said, my golden rule. What is my golden rule that I say every single week? No one. What is the golden rule I say on the coaching call every week? Do you know what it is, or you don't know? Yeah. Very good. See, he's been to a couple of my trainers, so he knows. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah means there's no power, no might except Allah. What does this mean? This means that if you are here to get help from me or Elevate, I'm sorry you have been missold. I myself am in need of Allah's help. So what you need to do is not put your trust in me or the program or the coaches or Elevate. You need to put your trust in Allah. Because whoever puts their trust in Allah, Allah will be sufficient for you and Allah will never let you down. So when we think about what we're achieving, what we're doing, put the weight of it on Allah. Make sure that you are putting your trust in Him as well. And then the last thing I want to say to you is Shaitan, one of the biggest powers he has is to make you doubt. Okay, what else? Forget. Shaitan loves making you forget. And you know what he loves to make you forget the most of all the things? Huh? Okay, that's one of them. Close. He makes you forget that you are going to die. And he does it very cleverly. He doesn't say, Atif, you're not going to die. Because if he said that, you'd be like, what are you talking about? Everyone's going to die. He goes, listen, not today. Like, yes, of course you're going to die. We all know that. But bro, today is not you're not going to die today. There's no sign, it's all right. Yeah. Can you imagine there's probably millions and millions of people that had that thought that I'm not going to die today. And they actually die. On some day, it will be that you say, maybe it's not today, but you do die. So you guys need to have this urgency that if this is your last year with Allah, your last year on earth, your last year with your family, your last year trying to have an impact, your last year trying to achieve something, would you be acting the same way that you acted last year? And if the answer is no, then that's where we need to make the changes.